You touched on John Carpenter a little bit.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us what it was like to be directed by him, whether he gave you free rein to do what you wanted, or if he was more hands-on?
It's not free rein. Well, the film They Live, I mean, it's different than his other films, but all his films are fabulous. So it was how I always felt that it was I was in a genre film. It really wasn't, being shot in the 1980s. It was being shot in the 1950s, but it really was in the 80s. And with the magnitude and the message of the film and the politics of the film, there's a very small cast. I mean, he orchestrated it like I think that he does his composing. Working with him is very gentle. It moves like a piece of music, It moves like his composing, like I said. But he would say, when it stops being fun, we stop doing it. It was one of the calmest sets I've ever been on. And he worked with many of the same crew members. And it just flowed beautifully. He knew always what he wanted, and he was very clear and very specific and very giving and also very trusting. So he didn't like it when I pushed Roddy too hard out the window, because the stuntman almost went off the mat and further down the hill. But so that was something we had to pull back from. But the other things we didn't have to. The other stuff was sort of a piece of cake. It was really fun.
This question is for Meg. What was it like working with Terry in Stepfather 2, who's on Lost now?
Oh, hi. Terry O'Quinn and Roddy Piper are in they come from the same eggshell. I've seen Terry O'Quinn's work, and goodness, I think I'd actually, Terry O'Quinn, I'm thinking of time.
Okay.
Terry was in a film that I did, Terry was in Blind Fury, which is a film that starred Rutger Hauer. And Terry and I had met very briefly in the lunch line. And I think Terry O'Quinn is one of the finest actors I've ever worked with. He certainly is one of the finest gentlemen. He's just extraordinary. You are constantly in the presence of someone who is taking a situation and making it real, and taking a relationship and making it real on every level of subtlety as well as intensity. I felt that we were married. I didn't know he was a bad guy. I was totally surprised. He made everything very, very real, and he's a consummate actor. I've never worked with anybody with this sort of depth and simplicity at the same time. It's terrific to work with him. He also is a fantastic guitar player and singer.
Okay, and a question for both ladies. Meg, you mentioned that Sam Peckinpah being an influence on most people. So one of the people's influence was Catherine Bigelow. So I'd like to ask both ladies, how do you feel about her winning Best Director this year for The Hurt Locker?
Bravo, well deserved, fabulous. She's a terrific director and obviously a great lady too.
The same. Can't say any more than that.
Thank you.
This is actually a two-part question for Scout. Did Daniel Harris have the input as far as what your role should be or how you should act it from age 1 to age 2? And what was the experience?
Daniel Harris? Did she have the input on how I portrayed Laurie? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, and all around like how you portray the characters.
No, she didn't. But it was definitely the first time, because I'm a fan of her Halloweens. And the first time working with her, I was really intimidated because I thought maybe she was judging me and watching me every second and, comparing the two. But she's not. She's an amazing, amazing girl and a very talented actress. And actually, doing the second Halloween, the scene in the bathroom where she dies was so hard. She's kind of like my older sister now, and it was just really hard. It's always difficult doing that scene, especially doing it with her. And I remember I actually had to excuse myself because I couldn't get out of the emotion that I was feeling, and I had to run downstairs and kind of calm myself down. I was breaking out in hives. I was just like I couldn't get out of it. And Tyler was down there, and I look at him and I tell him, like, this is really hard. I've never experienced this. I've never been able to not get out of something, and it's really hard to do with her. And he looks down at me, 6'9" guy, and he looks down at me and he says, I need a van back to base camp. I'm not dealing with this. But he was joking. He was trying to cheer me up. But no, working with Danielle, I was very intimidated in the beginning, but she's an amazing actress, and she's very easy to work with.
Scout, on that note, do you guys still keep in contact? Are you guys friends?
Oh yeah, all of us. We're kind of like a big family now. You can't get out of that group. But yeah, no, we always stay in contact.
I want to know, did you get offered anything for Halloween 3, or?
Yes, I don't know if you were in here earlier, but I did. I got offered to do it maybe 3 months ago, but I turned it down because it wasn't in development enough. And they're talking about doing it at the end of the year, next year. But I will definitely read the script and go from there.
Okay.
This is a two-part question for Scout and Meg. Oh, I'm sorry. Two-part question. Obviously, y'all had a great time on the set.
No, we had a terrible time.
What is it like when you're seeing the movie and seeing yourself while you're watching it? And while watching the film, the premiere of Halloween, did you happen to notice anything that was in the background of the scene when Brad drove up in the car and you and Kristen and Danielle were on the sidewalk? Did you notice that?
A few people have actually pointed out to me, but I haven't gone back and watched it. What was it exactly?
It's a palm tree.
Fucking palm trees were so hard to disguise during this filming process. You know what really sucks is that all of my friends want to go with me to go see my movies. And I am the worst person to go see my film with. I will talk during my scenes. I will try to distract everybody. I don't know what it is. I think it's a nervous tick. I think at the premiere, I was sitting across from Rob, and Rob kept on telling me, he kept on looking at me like, shut up! I'm talking during the film. No, I mean, I love my work. I really do, and I love that, people enjoy my work. But I have a problem watching myself, and I think a lot of people do. I think it's because when you watch it, you just kind of think you could have done it better, or you could have done it in a different way. I mean, not necessarily better, but you just kind of judge yourself, and I am my worst critic. So it's yeah. I do enjoy watching myself, but a lot of me are just really, really nervous and just don't like to do it. But yeah.
Okay, we have time for one more question. Who wants it?
Okay. I'll make it a good one. Last question for Scott. Since you attended a lot of the Runaways premieres, any favorite moments from them?
After party. Seeing the film with everybody, and we actually, before the premiere, we all had to go up. Joan, Cherie, and Kristen, Dakota, myself, and that was pretty awesome to actually watch it with everybody for the first time. But then the after party and talking about it and dancing and having a